Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Voles, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, my goodness. We have got a show planned for you guys today. We're going to do a lot of shout outs today. We're going to talk about a lot of fun things today. And we're going to do a little bit of business today as well. But hey, first thing I want to do is give a big shout out. This is before my shout outs to our dedicated crew starting this morning. Mr. Aaron Walls coming to you live. He did from Hallsville, somewhere around Hallsville, Kentucky. Yes, indeedy, my buddy Aaron. I'm not making fun of it, Aaron. I really ain't. It's just down there in the country. He'll tell you it's down in the country. But super great guy, super great show. And glad to have him on with us and represents Turfs Up Radio well. Definitely one of the dedicated crew members here at Turfs Up Radio. And then followed up by Daniel, Vitamin D, the other great show on his Fun Fact Friday. We're actually going to talk about one of his fun facts today that I thought was pretty cool. And then here we are to the world famous Turfs Up Radio show, Profit Time. Actually, all of our shows here are world famous because we're listened to all over the world. And it's live. We are the only live radio station dedicated 100% to the green and white industry. And we can even narrow that down. We're the only live radio show dedicated to the industry. That's just it. I mean, 100%. I mean, there's 6,723,000 podcast people out there, but that's what they are. They're an individual doing podcasts, and that's a great thing, not minimizing that at all. But we are an actual live radio station with 24/7 entertainment and music, and we are very proud to be a part of that. And would like to thank King Darren Gruner, who's out this week celebrating his 60th birthday. Hard to believe he's that old, but hey, I hope he's having fun doing whatever he's done. He didn't say what he was doing. I just know that he's out and about celebrating a little birthday with his bride, Renee. So hopefully if they're in an area where they can listen to us, hope you guys are listening. And it's always great to represent Turfs Up Radio here on my show, Profit Time. I've been a business consultant since 1990 with Profits Unlimited. And I really enjoy doing my Monday, Wednesday, Friday show here on Turfs Up Radio for you guys, because it's all about helping to elevate and educate the industry. And a lot of talk about that by a lot of different people. But you know what? Hey, we're here doing it. We're here doing it. When I say we're here doing it, all of our show hosts are here doing it. And we appreciate the opportunity. And without you guys, none of it would be possible. So we do appreciate each and every one of you all that listen to us on a regular basis, and your text into our shows is absolutely awesome. And, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't even have a show. So with that being said, let's see what in the world we got going on here today. It's hard to believe it's another Friday has rolled around. Friday the 11th. At least it's not Friday the 13th. But, and I don't know. I'm not a big believer in Friday 13th being a bad day. Hell, if you wake up, it's up to you to make it a good day. That's the reality of that. So, but it is Friday. We have made it through another week. Hope your week's going well. Don't know what you got going on today, but regardless of what it is, and if my voice seems a little bit off today, it is. I'm struggling with a cold. I think that's what it is. I don't feel bad. I just sound bad and coughing, but I am coughing a lot less than I was. So that's a good sign. And everything that I'm hacking up is white. So that's a good sign. So so I don't think I've really got anything really messed up going on. It's just my head's kind of clogged up, a little bit, but it's not clogged up too bad. Kind of like Roto Rooter. That's his name. take some. What's that stuff that dries you up? Uh, God, I can't think of what the hell it is. So, but anyways, yeah, y'all get it. Y'all get it. So, if I sound weird, I am not weird, but my voice is a little messed up. But Mike said he's got a half a day, then he's going camping. I am so jealous, Mike. You know, God, we're not going camping at all this year. That's the name of that game. We're not at Green River Lake State Park. We just got notified the other day that now they're closed through October 1st. So, I mean, for me, that means we're just calling it a year because Daniel's his wedding be coming up shortly after that. So we just won't be hitting the lake this year. It's going to be a weird sensation not going to the lake all year. I'll say that. We're not going to cry and complain about that too much, but we will a little bit today just because we can, we can do that. But what do you got going on today here at WLS? We got a easy day going on, really. I think we went out and did a little bit of rock this morning. And it wasn't even really a rock job. It was more of just one of our existing customers that were having some trouble with some delivery trucks running over some area. And so our solution was to, hey, let's put a little rock in there so they're not continually tearing the turf up. So went out and did that this morning. And other than that, excuse me, had to mute my mic for a second. But other than that, a little bit of maintenance here. Washed our tanks out on our spray vehicles. We got those all washed out real good. And it's amazing, what you can get out of those things when they look pretty good. But, it's always something to do. So Corey's headed to Brooklyn, New York. Wait, Corey, are you taking some of your baked goods? So what are you doing with that? Daniel's heading to Nashville here in a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bachelor party for him. They're going to the MMA fight or something?
Yeah, UFC fight night.
UFC.
It's tomorrow night, so
That'll be fun. So
it'll be interesting. Yeah.
how many of you are going?
Just 4 total.
4? That's a good sized group.
Yeah.
It's easy to get in and out of everywhere, and it's not a problem trying to have a dinner or go to the bars or
Yeah.
whatever. With that size group, you can negotiate pretty well. So hope y'all have a good time.
Thanks.
With that. So I'll be spending time on my deck tonight, I guess, Tab and I. Getting a table delivered. It's really, I've been in that house 21 years, 22 years, I think, something like that. And I've spent more time on the deck this summer than I think collectively we have in 20 plus years because we're never home during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit in the spring and maybe a couple times in the fall, but I don't know. So we did a deck makeover this year, and it's looking pretty good. And it's fun to be out there and getting a table delivered today. Well, there's our buddy Brett Watts with Bam Weather. Better get that. Brett is hopping on here with us. Brett, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for hopping on with us this morning. Appreciate.
Thanks for having me.
Oh man, as always, hey man, you guys are awesome, and I appreciate y'all hopping on with me. When y'all do. So, but what's going on exciting in your world today?
Well, we have some severe weather opportunities today to the northwest of the lower Ohio Valley, more so up again towards Chicago, towards Davenport, Rockford, Illinois. Could be a couple of decent storms out there, maybe a couple of tornadoes even, which is rare, I would say, for the middle part of July.
Wow, it does sound pretty weird, doesn't it? Especially to me, to you. You guys see weather all the time, but why is it that you don't see much tornadic activity in this time of the year? Is it why does it shut down theoretically?
Yeah, it's the wind. So you get into the summertime, and because you don't have really any cold air source, it makes it difficult to get the strong wind, the differences in temperatures that helps drive the pressure differences, which helps drive the wind. And when you don't have that in summer, it's a lot harder to get what we call the wind shear to produce tornadoes. And so
I got you.
it's a lot less common heading into the summertime. Now, you can still get those big damaging wind events because of how hot that it gets, how much instability there is, but not normally as much spin in the atmosphere as you will because of the lack of temperature differences.
Down in Florida, they, like I saw a video the other day. Somebody had they called it a water spout out on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Is it actually a tornado? They just call them water spouts, or is there a difference?
There's slight differences, but they're pretty much the same type of formation.
Okay.
Down there in Florida, there can be a little bit more of what we call kind of like the micro scale influences, where the differences and slight differences in the ocean temperatures can cause a little bit of a spin up there. But in a lot of cases, they form exactly the same way as tornadoes. And even sometimes you'll get a water spout that can move on shore and become a tornado.
All right. So I always thought they were just tornadoes on the water, but they're not. Then there is some differentiation between them. Nice.
Sometimes there are. A lot of times they are the same, though.
Are they as strong as a regular tornado, or can they work with a whole lot less energy?
Yeah, not typically. Not typically. And I think part of the reason for that, again, is similar to what we talked about around here for the summer. There's not normally a lot of temperature differences in Florida, right? So you don't have as much wind. So in general, it's rare to get strong tornadoes down in Florida as it is.
Dang, thanks for that. I didn't even have that on my question to ask you today, man. It just popped up when you said tornadoes, and I got to thinking about seeing that video. Hey, today's shout out day on my show, by the way. And
all right.
But I wanted to, so before you actually get into weather and we go deeper into weather, I want to give BAM a big shout out. Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations on, I saw where you guys put on the Ohio Department of Transportation as a customer.
Yeah, we're super excited to work with them and have them on board, especially as we get into the winter months. I think it's going to be a great partnership.
Yeah. So, and I mean, you guys have got a list of a whole lot of people that are very well known, but I know that had to be a good win for you guys for sure. And you guys deserve it with the accuracy in which y'all give the reality of the weather. Let me say that. So I'll say it that way.
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate that. And, like I've said before, at the end of the day, it's just doing whatever we can to help people succeed, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal more than anything.
No, that's right. And hey, I know I reached out to y'all, I don't know, a few days ago. We were just had a question about do we go or not go, and y'all told us to roll on. It looked pretty good, and we rode on, and we looked pretty good.
There you go.
Y'all make us look like heroes many more times than zeros. Let me say that. The old Lori thing, she always what's her last name? Golly, the one that does. She's on Shark Tank. Can't think Lori, but she always says.
Oh yeah, Lori. Yeah.
Yeah, she always says, I like to. I can tell when something's a hero or a zero, and I want you guys to know at BAM Weather, you guys are definitely heroes. So,
well, hey, we appreciate that. And that example that you used, the biggest thing there, it's somewhere you get the pop-up storms. The biggest thing is just kind of eliminating some of the confusion, eliminating some of the guesswork, right? There's only so much detail an hour by hour forecast can really give you. So just talking to somebody, I think that makes life easier, right? Nobody wants to talk to robots when they're trying to get help. So,
true that. Yeah.
Human interaction is huge.
It does make it really does. I mean, it's great, so, and then it's simple. I mean, it's like, here was my question. I mean, I know you're busy, but I mean, it's like, how are we looking tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.? And I sent that out, in the evening, and you guys were like, and Tyler was actually the guy that responded.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think you're likely to be dry at 7 a.m. Your next rain risk likely doesn't come until after 12 p.m. with, midday pop-ups. And that's a good forecast for us. We get to make a good business decision with something like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I'll be sure to pass that along to Tyler. He'll appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, we love that chat feature. So, if you guys need great weather, check them out, bamwx.com. They got a free trial, and you won't go back. Let me say that. You won't go back to any other source. Or that's my year. I've been with you guys now several years, and it's one of the best investments we've made, bar none. And not just weather, because just in business in general, man. So you guys do a great job with that. So I didn't mean to
Yeah.
get you on here and
Nope.
stroke you so much, but but it is my shout out day, and I got some other shout outs later on once you hop off. But it's been hot. It's going to be hot, but I saw something y'all put out where it's going to get cool on the eastern half of the United States, maybe, or cooler. What's that mean?
Yeah, in summer, cool is relative, right? Instead of being in the upper 80s and 90s, we'll have more days that are probably in the low to mid 80s, but it'll feel a lot cooler compared to what we've been dealing with. I think it's a 5-day period or so. There should be a decent little cold front that moves in as we work into late next week. Should at the very least bring some relief because, man, it's been so hot and humid. It hasn't been extreme, right? But just the humidity, I think, getting a little bit of a reprieve from that will be big. But before then, we've got numerous rain and storm chances that we'll have to deal with, including tomorrow.
I got you. And what's it looking like? I'm gonna be selfish now for our part of the country down here in Louisville.
Yeah. So tomorrow, I think that we'll need to watch for a couple of pop-up storms. As early as the middle part of the afternoon, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. But I think it's very isolated at that point. I do think there's a better potential for a line of some showers and storms that's probably broken, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 o'clock or so, kind of in that time frame there arriving. And so it could be some evening thunderstorms for your Saturday if you have outdoor plans, something to keep in mind there. Could be a couple of stronger storms. I don't think there's a big severe threat, but some gusty winds and lightning certainly on the table.
All right. Well, I might be reaching out to y'all tomorrow because I'm trying to do a summer picnic tomorrow night. So,
yes, reach out. We'll be happy to fine tune that for you.
All right. Hey, also, I'm kind of changing gears. This sounds like I'm being very self-centered today, Ben. I guess I am, but I'm heading out to South Dakota Thursday for about 7-8 days or so, just on a west trip. And I saw on your all's thing you put out, it's going to be hotter than normal out there. So should I just take all shorts and not 50, 60, 70 degree weather stuff, or what's your opinion?
Yeah, I do think that it's hotter than normal there to end the month. The start of your trip may be not too bad in terms of heat. So you may still want to bring some warm clothes. I don't know exactly where you're at, how cool it'll get out there for that time of the year at night. But the soil out there in general is a little bit drier. It tends to dip a little cooler in the evening and the overnight. So probably starts out close to normal and then gets hotter with time as you close out your trip.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. And how's August looking for regionally? That will be for everybody. Are we going to stay dry? Or are we going to get wet? And I'm thinking from a business perspective, or is it going to get dry and then let us sell lawn renovations?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked because I actually just updated our August forecast probably 20 or 30 minutes ago. So it's not even on the app yet. So you all are getting the very first forecast update for August. And we trended it warmer. I think the start of the month could be at least a little bit more seasonable. There's more rain opportunities in early August. I do think that the back half of August can start to heat up, hotter than normal pattern. And I do think that it can be drier as well. So I do think that somewhere after the first 10, 15 days of the month or so, there's a transition that trends things hotter and drier. So you may get your wish there in terms of a little bit of some
Yeah.
dry time the
Well,
back half of August.
when the grass looks or when the grass goes dormant, it seems to make the phone ring. People that
Sure.
and it's not that we want to take advantage of anybody. We don't. I mean, we've been in business 46 years and we didn't do it by cheating people, but it's still nice to have a little Mother Nature's help to make things look worse than what the reality they are, to get the phone to
Sure.
ring and let them decide if they want to do some seeding or aeration or whatever they may want to do to, to rectify that,
Yeah. Yeah, for
that
sure.
look.
And you just look at the last 7 days, there are spots that have had rain, right?
Right.
Just to the north of Louisville, there's some spots that have had an inch or two of rain, but it's
Right.
just been scattered. Not everybody has cashed in. So I know, my grass is starting to look a little brown here, and when it's hot and it's hotter than normal, it doesn't take much of a lack of precip or infrequent precip to start to dry things out. And I think there's more rain opportunities the next 7 days and into the start of August. But I think we get back into this type of pattern late August where it could even be even a touch drier than it is right now.
Nice. And one other question, if you got another minute or two to answer for me. You talked about like southern parts of southern Indiana, having even a couple inches of rain, and even east of Louisville, like immediately 10, 12,
Yeah.
15 miles east of Louisville has had some decent rainfall. What causes such a small area to get weather like that? Like the pop-up storm. What causes a pop-up storm that's 5 miles
Mhm.
in circumference and then it rains itself out and it's done? Why doesn't it continue on?
Yeah.
The humidity's the same. I mean,
Yeah. No, that's a great question. That's a fantastic question. And I'll go back to kind of what we talked about earlier with the lack of wind, right? When you don't have wind shear, when you don't have the different speed and direction of wind throughout the atmosphere, what happens is it's hot enough, it's humid enough that you get pockets of air that rise, right? But there's nothing to tilt the storm over to keep a rising warm air mass supplying the storm energy, right?
okay.
So basically, what happens is because there's no wind to tilt the storm, you cut off, when it starts to rain, you cut off the warm air supply of the storm. And once it runs out and stops raining. Now, it's been hot and humid enough that where it does rain, especially if there's no wind to push the storm along, it can rain a lot in a short amount of time.
Right.
But without organized storm systems, cold fronts, warm fronts, low pressure systems, the wind aloft, these storms don't move much and they're very, very unorganized. And it's been even a bigger case of that this year than normal because of how warm and humid that it's been, but we haven't had a lot of cold fronts.
I got you.
And so, yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's kind of the luck of the draw. You get rising air in one spot, what we call convection. What goes up must come back down. So just to the east of it or just to the south or wherever, there's sinking air. And so you just get the popcorn like storms.
Well, and how do you get so much like, I don't know. There seems to be like a lot of flash flooding going on this year,
Yeah.
in different areas where, somebody's getting 4 or 5 inches of rain or 10 or whatever, just excessive amounts. How do you get
Sure.
10 or 12 inches of rain or something like that real quick? I mean, how does
Yeah,
that happen? Is it that
it's
same
all
thing?
about
The lift?
it is, yeah, it's the lack of the wind to move the storms along, but also this year in particular, we've got a lot of Gulf moisture that has moved northward into the eastern half of the country, and we're also getting some moisture from the eastern Pacific. So, like the Texas flooding that happened, there was remnants of a tropical system in there. Then we were getting Gulf moisture. There was a boundary that was bringing in moisture from the eastern Pacific. And so we just have a big convergence this year of a lot of different moisture sources. And what's crazy, it's one minor change that happened heading into the summer. The ocean temperatures in the Atlantic got a lot warmer, which is allowing for higher pressure to develop out in the Atlantic, which you're getting some southerly winds in from the Gulf, which is pushing moisture right up into the eastern half of the country. And so it's an example of one minor change supplying us with a lot of moisture and leading to slow moving but high producing thunderstorms.
No, it's something because I mean I just don't remember it like so much flash flooding going on, and just
Yeah.
it's crazy. But I'm sure it's happened. It's nothing new, but it just seems like, man, this year's just been I don't know, is anomaly the right word for it? I mean, just
Yeah, no, it definitely has been. Just how widespread that it's been. We haven't had this type of a setup in a while. I think back to a year like 2010 is probably the best comparison that I have. You go back to a year, I think it was 2008. We had big flooding similar to this. That was actually in Indiana, so a little bit further north and east. But it's been a while since we've had this type of a pattern. It has happened before, but I think the big thing is the big flooding in North Carolina and Texas had the tropical storm influences with them, and then of course the one in Texas. The unfortunate thing there is it just hit in the absolute wrong spot. That's the most flash flood prone region of the country, and they were in a big drought, which leads to runoff. It was just the worst case scenario.
it was like the perfect storm situation, like that movie, I guess.
It really was, which it's just so unfortunate. It's terrible. It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
It's so sad, but unfortunately, that happens sometimes. We saw it last year with Helene in North Carolina,
Yeah.
South Carolina.
So when a quick look at our winter forecast, when's that coming out?
Yeah, I looked into a little bit of research earlier this week. We'll have kind of a preliminary idea in August.
All right.
Right now, I see a warmer pattern, slightly warmer. I do think there can be some cold shots in there, some bigger cold shots. So it's not, terrible. But I also think there can be a couple of big storms this year. Some similarities to last year, I would say. Maybe a little bit warmer, though.
All right. Well, good deal. Hey, I appreciate all your time this morning, Brett. And as always, I got Brett Watts on with me with BAM Weather. Check these guys out, bamwx.com, and get a free trial. And like I said, I guarantee you'll love these guys. They're awesome at what they do, and they sure help us run our business more efficiently and more profitably. And that return on the investment's awesome, man. Thank you all, each and every one of y'all. So
yeah, thanks for having us and for the shout out. And you all have a fantastic weekend.
All right, you too, my friend. Pass that along to your team for me, would you?
I will.
All right.
I will.
All right,
Yep.
Brett. Thanks a lot. See you next time.
Yep. Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye-bye. All right. Those guys are just awesome, Daniel. I mean,
Yeah.
what they're not
about.
perfect. They're
good at what they do,
they're
though.
good at what they do. So
And they know, they know who their target is. Their target is people who want and need to know the weather.
right.
And they give people that.
Yeah. So anyways, check them out. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. Want to give Katie a big shout out as well. Katie, this morning already before 10 a.m., had already locked down 2 new accounts for WLS and working on a third now. So, Katie, keep it rocking and rolling. Katie's on a roll, Daniel.
Yep.
She's rolling on, Daniel. She's rocking the roads. So somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. So they probably think me and you don't do much, Daniel, but we really do. We just, Katie, thank you. She said we do a lot, me and Daniel. So, but yeah, we just really do what we do well. So that's that. That's that. So, Katie, I do appreciate that and everything you do. And
I think that's a misconception in this industry, though, that you need to be like forgetting us, but people that are, let's say, trying to grow their business, that they need to have the perception of doing a lot or being busy or being the guy or whatever. Because so many, especially men, have the idea that, hey, I have to be the guy, I have to be the one, I have to be the the breadwinner for my company. I have to be this, I have to be that. Now, as the business owner, yes, you should be the leader and the role model and all these things, but that doesn't mean that you have to be perceived as certain things either. I think we get caught up into what other people think too much, and that can lead us to doing things that aren't actually good for us or good for our business.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if I'm not out there in the field, people are going to think I'm not working hard.
I'm lazy because I'm not out on a crew, and I don't. You're right, Daniel. That's a really good point because I have that discussion with a lot of the companies that we do our business coaching with. You know, that is one of the hard, and that was hard for me to get over as well. You know, the fact that you feel almost like, okay, you're not doing something, you're not doing anything because you're not out there digging holes or mowing lawns or spraying lawns, or know that you transition out of that. And Corey actually had a great question that he sent through in the profit circle about that.
Yeah. And I think you have to, as an individual, be okay with what other people might perceive you as long as
Yeah.
you're working towards what you think is the betterment of whatever you're working towards.
Yeah, as long as you know what's really going on, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I think I never can remember his name, but I got his name in here. I keep him on my desk whenever I need a reminder of that.
Dabo Sweeney.
Yes, Dabo Sweeney. The South Carolina Clemson. Yeah, God, CJ'd be mad about that, wouldn't he? Yeah, the Clemson football coach. But he always says, I don't worry about what other people think about me if I'm not seeking their advice. So the deal is, if you're not wanting advice from somebody, don't worry what the hell they think about you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, he's lazy. Well, great, he's lazy. You do you, boo, and I'll do me, and we're all okay. So I think that's words to live by. Don't worry about criticism coming from somebody that doesn't matter. So,
or that doesn't necessarily doesn't matter, but that you don't seek advice from.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to emulate or take, lessons from someone, then who cares, if they think you're doing it the wrong way. You didn't ask them how to do it the right way, and they didn't tell you how to do it the right way. So don't worry about them telling you that you're doing it the wrong way.
Yeah. Very good. Very good point. Very good point. Mike Murphy says, y'all trim my shrubs yet? LOL. He must be having.
Is he talking about the guy that had the same name as him, or is he talking about?
I think so. I think so. Enlighten us a little bit deeper on that, Mike. But I think that's where he's going with that. But yeah, we're looking really forward to getting those hedges trimmed for you, Mike. So speaking of Mike, I want to give Mike a big shout out too for helping us this morning. We had one of our commercial clients here bought some property, and he said, yeah. So bought some property down in where was it?
E-Town?
Down a little bit south of E-Town, and Mike gave us a good referral on that, and also Seth, if you're listening to us, buddy, reached out to you too to see if that might be an area that you service. So we're trying to help one of our existing commercial clients out here that had bought a property down there, and they're going to need it serviced for a while while they're going to tear something down and build something back up. So any of you guys that may be listening to us that service that area, reach out to us. Let us know. That's what, again, there we go. There's a perfect example of what Turf's Up Radio, does. I mean, we just help each other. We help elevate and educate the industry and ourselves and our businesses. And we do it one business at a time. So I got to share a funny story with y'all. And this is kind of a shout out. And there's Sherry again. Why does she always come in when we're on our show? She never comes to see us. No, we like you to come. But she always comes when we can't talk to her. You know it?
She wants to be famous. She wants to get on the radio.
She won't never get on. That's why she comes when we're on the radio, so she knows we can't talk to her. We got to get her on. Sherry, you want to come here and talk to us for a minute? Oh, she said no. Our guys would love to hear you. But Sherry sold insurance for like 112 years, so she's pretty good on insurance too. She can answer a lot of insurance. She's actually thinking about going back to work part time and for the guy that she was working with. So
There
I
you
don't
go.
I don't know. She said she don't know if she could take the the mindset of the office. So she could Daniel, look, she's got a light. She's got a light over there. She's showing you the light. Oh my goodness.
She's
Mike,
gonna show our listeners the light.
she's gonna show you the light on
It's like
insurance.
the. Oh God.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh gosh.
But
I'm getting nervous.
yeah, Daniel's looking forward to their bachelor party tonight.
A blue one.
So Sherry, don't you leave here. You wait. You only got 16 minutes left. We want to talk to you. She always sneaks in during our show though. So well, that ain't helping me none. Yeah, sorry. We need to. She's brought money, but it's not for us. So that doesn't do us any good, does it, Daniel? Golly, that's me. Daniel's looking for his water. He's getting dehydrated. We got to make sure vitamin D don't dehydrate on us. But another shout out that I wanted to give. I got to tell you guys something funny. This is a true story. Wayne's throwing himself under the bus. Kyle was going out to. We'd done some sod and stuff for a customer, and he was going out yesterday around lunchtime to install a timer for them. They don't have irrigation, and it's actually a residential property next to a commercial property that we take care of, and half of it was on our both of our customers, but our commercial property has irrigation, but their irrigation couldn't water. Their heads didn't reach all the way across what we sodded, so it was doing about half the sod. So Kyle was going out to install a timer on a water spigot because they didn't have irrigation to keep it water, Daniel. So he was like, "Hey, you want to ride with me?" So I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go. That'd be pretty cool." So it is going to be a quick little thing. So my job when I got there was to install the timer slash unscrew the hose, screw the timer on, and then screw the hose uh, to the timer. And we use these Rainbird timers. They're really good. If you guys ever need to make watering easy for somebody, use it as an upsell, man. We call sells the heck out of these things, to customers, and it's really solving a problem they have of having to go water, right, Daniel? I mean,
Yeah.
it's we're not selling them something they don't need or want. It's just we're making life easy on them. So it's an easy upsell is my point. But anyway, so Wayne goes over there, and I put this timer on the spigot, and we turn it on, and we're trying to get the sprinkler thing set that we're using, and I'm like, man, the timer's leaking bad. Well, guess what I did, Daniel?
You broke it.
Yeah, pretty much. And I didn't break it, but I cross threaded it. And I knew, even putting the damn thing on, I'm like, don't cross thread this, you know, because it's just it's plastic threads, so they got to go on just perfect. And, you guys know it, and I know it, that, the easiest thing to do before you start threading one of those things on is to go backwards to line it up first. And then when you fill it, then go forward. Just a quarter or half turns, all it takes, Daniel. You've hooked the hose up enough. Well, anyway, I jacked this timer up. So we had to leave, come back to the shop, get another timer. Kyle's like, I carry extras of everything but this because I've not ever jacked one up. We had them here at the shop, just didn't have one with us, so.
So the $1 million invention is to create a threadless system for anything.
Correct. That, and the customer actually had a threadless setup when we got there. You still had to thread this quick connect coupler on it, but then they could change their hoses with a quick connect, to your point. So sorry, you're not going to make $1 million on it. It's already out there, but they did have that quick connect, but we had to take it off first to get our timer on. So, and Wayne jacked it up. So I don't know what it cost us. Don't want to know. 30, $40 probably for the timer cost, but more importantly than that, it cost us probably 45 minutes in time. Thank God they weren't too far from the shop, but they weren't close. But yeah, so that was my adventure yesterday. So did Jack Kyle up? It didn't make us look bad in person, but I'm sure we did look bad on the ring camera because they had a ring camera, and I'm sure they were wondering, why it takes so long to do what we were doing there. But these are good customers, thank God. I mean, we do landscape lighting for them. We're getting ready to install their landscape lighting. We've done holiday lights. We've mowed and sprayed their property for years for them. So thank God it wasn't a new customer. So, but it didn't cost them anything other than wondering why we were there at their spigot for 20 minutes,
Hmm.
and it was past a little Teflon tape before anybody asked. It was past a little Teflon tape. But Mike sent the text Daniel and said if you get in any trouble while you're in Nashville, he's only an hour away. Give him a call.
All right, I got your number, so keep you on
Yeah,
speed dial.
yeah, he'll keep you. So what's that fight y'all going to? That ought to be pretty fun.
Yeah, it's just called UFC Fight Night, so it's not like one of the main UFC events where it's like a numbered event. They have like UFC 101 or 212 or what I don't know if they're on now 270 or 280. I don't know.
Will the
300.
good ones be there? And you know what I mean? Like,
Not the main ones, no. It's kind of like this event that they're doing here in Louisville with the golf, right?
okay,
Like it's still professional and
yeah, it's
it's still high level, but they're not
still
the
PGA here, but it's not the top level players. They're over in what, Europe or
yeah.
somewhere playing.
That's
Kyle was saying.
that's what this UFC is kind of. So I don't know. A lot of times they'll still have like main people show up to the fights, which is cool. That sit down in the good seats
Yeah, I hear
and
you.
all that kind of stuff. Like, I assume it's still going to be a pretty cool event to go to, but not one of like the main events, if
There
you
we
will,
go.
main things.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all have fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I've never been to anything like it. Never seen a thing like that in a live event. So
I'm sure it'll be really cool in person.
yeah,
Everything's always better when you're there.
a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to be there for sure. He's having a fit, so needs a lozenge. Needs some sort of what are those throat
Oh,
lozenges called? The gosh,
Ricola.
is that
I
what they
got
are?
some right over there. So
Just can't get over it. Looks like I'm the main entertainment for the next foreseeable future. We'll do a countdown. 30, 29. No, but yeah, even the prophet, has trouble sometimes. You gotta get get back to the healthy
there
healthy
we go. We'll see how that does.
healthy
Got to
path.
suck on this thing for a minute.
You know what though? Talking about that, whenever you're feeling a little sick, you just make a few tweaks, make a few adjustments
Two.
to your daily activities, I guess.
So should you change drink, eat?
Yeah,
What?
all the above. Just bump it up a little. If you're
Mm-hmm.
get a little bit more sleep, eat some more fruits and veggies, stay away from the junk food, stay away from the alcohol. I know it's the weekend's coming up, but that can certainly help speed up things as far as recovery goes.
No.
Get out in the sun, which I know you're talking about being on the deck, so that's a good thing, being outside.
Get some vitamin D.
Vitamin D, all the vitamins, yeah. So,
All right. Well, that'll be good. I honestly, I will really watch my alcohol because I am trying to get better before next Thursday when I go to wherever the hell it is we're going.
yeah.
South Dakota, I think, is where we're going
Yeah.
to. You know, so so
Yeah. Between here and then and now, just bump it up.
I don't feel bad. You know,
Yeah, but
I'm just
just
coughing,
yeah,
but
you
the
know,
drainage is good and white and clear. So, you know, so that's a good thing. So, should I do more protein? Less protein? What do you think? I know you're not
yeah,
a
you should
doctor, but
always do more. You're not hitting enough on your daily anyway, but I would definitely be just like anytime you're feeling or a little bit less than optimal, then
yeah,
yeah, just anything you can do to boost it naturally is better.
yeah. Okay. So, been doing pretty good on Tab feeds me good. She really does. I'm really going to say that.
Yeah, but I know you
But
say that, but if you truly tracked, you would be way too low on protein.
I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I am.
And you don't eat a normal lunch
Yeah.
and breakfast, so you're 33% there.
Oh my God. This is Daniel's shout out straightening me out, which I'm fine with it.
It's
Because
not about being 100% though, just
yeah.
doing a little bit.
What let me ask you this then, seriously.
Okay.
Does like boost, I do the boost.
Yeah.
Is that as good as getting it through food?
No.
Okay.
You know why?
No.
Because that's made in a lab. It's made in a factory. Anything that's not straight out of the earth or straight from an animal is never as good as anything you're going to get in a pill or in a shot or in a drink or anything else.
Okay. So even like that whey protein that you do, it's
It,
still
well, the thing is, I'm not drinking that for vitamins and minerals, but you could still, yes, make the argument that it's probably better to get it through animal protein or whatever. You could get it through plants, but whatever. But yes, even any supplement is not going to be as good as whole food.
all right. Fair
But I
enough.
mean, I do my fair share of whey protein because it is hard for me, for most people, to get enough protein in their diet without some sort of supplementation, just because
Did you
that's
say
a
like
lot of
1
meat.
gram of protein per pound of body weight or something is ideal?
That's what I shoot for, and I think is a good goal for everybody to shoot for, yes,
Okay.
personally.
I thought I heard you say that the other day.
Now, you'll hear a lot of people say that that's not necessary or you can go for half, but I think that's way too low.
This has turned
Personally.
into the vitamin D show, by the way. Guy's got a question. He says, "What are your thoughts on the liquid IV water enhancers?"
I like them. I don't know as far as like researched benefits go, but I know that electrolytes are good. I know that Liquid IV is a pretty good like brand out there that a lot of people endorse. Doesn't always mean that it's a good brand, but I've used them a lot. I
Yeah.
like the flavor. That's all I can say is, and I don't know if it makes any difference in my workouts or in my electrolyte balance or whatever. But if you're going to drink one, I think that's probably a good one to do.
I think in the other day, it was past the other day, maybe last week now, you got me squared away on you said don't drink that. I said, man, I'm gonna have a Gatorade or Powerade or something. And you said, don't do that. You don't need the electrolytes.
Well, if you're just
I think
chilling
that's a
out, sitting
good point.
around,
I say that for guys that are working in an office
yeah,
that,
especially when it comes to the drinks that have the sugar and have the calories and things like that. Like you just don't need it if you're not sweating and pushing yourself and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you if you're just sitting around the house, then don't drink
don't grab something loaded with electrolytes just because it's supposedly a better drink.
unless you just really haven't hydrated the whole day. Then it can be a quick way to boost your hydration in a quicker way than just water. So there is some benefit there. But if you're just doing a good job on your hydration, you're just sitting around, not doing too much, whatever, you don't really need because you're going to get electrolytes through your food and stuff as well.
We got another question.
Okay.
Do you think Gatorade's better than liquid IV or vice
No,
versa?
I don't think necessarily one is better per se. But with that being said, if I had to rank them, I would put Liquid IV ahead of Gatorade because intuition says Gatorade is a. Now, this is what I don't know. I don't know if Liquid IV is owned by a bigger company, but most of the times when you go to, especially when it comes to health, when you go to a bigger company, they're more concerned about making money instead of the goal of helping people and to make money. So they add in added flavors, they add in added colors, they may not have as high standards for sodium or just general electrolyte balance mixes in their drinks, things like that. So, assuming that all things were, in my head equal, I would put Liquid IV over Gatorade. But if you're only drinking like a minimum amount of either one of those, then I would say it probably really doesn't matter that much.
I gotcha.
But like I said, Liquid IV for me, I'm going to have that 9 times out of 10 over Gatorade.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So if you guys got any other questions for vitamin D, Daniel, send them to us. Other than that, we're going to move along to our a few more shout outs that I got today. I want to give a shout out to our complete team here at WLS for another good week. Wasn't as hot nearly this week, but they perform regardless. So don't forget to give your team a shout out, whether it's 1 or 100 or 1,000 people that you got working. But and I think another shout out I want to give today is our clients. And I know probably zero of our clients are listening to this, but I appreciate the opportunity they all give us to keep their properties up and make their properties look the best that they can make them look, and we can help make them look based on the budget that they try to work within. And that truly is an opportunity. So with that being said, we're going to take a short break. I know we're up on 11, but hey, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back with more Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio. Your industry, your station.
This is Aaron Farr from theanttool.com. You're listening to Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Yes, indeedy. You guys have got to check that out if you have not, to say the least.
This is Corey Parrish from CP Lawn Care Services. You're listening to Turfs Up Radio.
Shout out.
Straight your station. Yay.
Yay. Some shout outs. Corey, just in case you're listening with your kids, let's do it one more time. Tell them to listen up. Here it comes. You're going to hear yourself on the radio.
This is Corey Parrish from CP Lawn Care Services. You're listening to Turfs Up Radio.
Straight your station. Yay.
This is Mike Murphy from Murphy's Lawn and Landscape, and you're listening to Turfs Up Radio. Your industry, your station.
Yes, indeedy. Welcome back. Lordy, 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 my truth bomb for today. You guys ready for our truth bomb? I don't know if I am, but here we go. We got a truth bomb for you today. And the truth bomb today is submitted by my buddy Charles Miller up in Cleveland, Ohio area. And I think this is very important. He sent me this, and Daniel, I think this is very valid. It said, anytime someone asks, do you know a hairdresser for cheap, a photographer for cheap, a mechanic for cheap, a caterer for cheap, a lawn guy for cheap, everybody needs to say, no, I don't. And I think he brings a really good point out. And that's why it's the truth bomb for us today. Why should you minimize your service? And why does somebody always want something for cheap? Because I can tell you what I really believe about that, and I am, because it's on my soapbox. Y'all know it is. I bet none of them are going to their boss and saying, hey, I want $2 an hour less. I want to do it cheaper for you. Everybody wants to make more money, but then you want to get shit for cheap. I mean, there's a fine line there, right? I mean, I get it. We all want a good deal. But it goes back to what's the definition of a good deal. Good deal's not always the cheapest price. You know, that's something my dad taught me a long time ago, that in selling, the definition of a good deal is when the buyer and the seller are happy with the negotiated price or for a product or service. And it's just that simple. And Charles goes on to say, our response needs to be to that. No, I don't. I know several well-qualified professional tradespeople that charge a fair, well-deserved price for their services, but no, I don't know anybody that's cheap, nor should they be. So, with that being said, that is our truth bomb of the day. Now, Daniel, I know you can evaluate things really good. What do you think of that from him? Not to agree or disagree.
I think, yeah, the cheap part, right? Like you said, everybody wants things for as little money as they can possibly get them, which is just what it is. But that's where I think as a business, you have to say, who am I servicing? Am I servicing the person who only wants something that's the bare minimum version of this thing? Or am I going to try to serve the person who wants a hero? You know, Darren really talks about it a lot on his show because it's what's called Landscape Hero. But that's, I think, an underutilized mindset in this industry and in a lot of industries is, how can I go above and beyond for potential clients to sell them things and be the hero and know the information to give them the best results of whatever that project is or whatever. Because when I do that, I'm not even in the same league as Dr. Cheap or Mr. Cheap or Lawn Care Cheap or whatever, so in a sense, like, yes, it's frustrating when people are always like, oh man, I can't believe you charge X dollars to cut a lawn or do this project or, trim the hedges because my neighbor can come over and do it for $75 on Saturday or whatever. But if you are competing with those people and you offer the same things, if you don't offer anything better, why are you trying to expect better? If you're not better, why are you expecting to be perceived as better? So education, um, professionalism, going above and beyond in ways that other companies don't know or don't think of doing. Just things like having a solution, being solution oriented for your customers and answering the phone when they call and getting back to them. And there's just a million things we could talk about as to how you actually separate yourself from the cheap services. So, yes, it still might be frustrating because you're still going to get leads that expect, oh, I'm calling a lawn service. They're just going to be, Joe Blow off the street that mows yards for $25. And that, like I said, that's frustrating. But you're different than that. Like, your target's different than that. Your mission and vision are different than that. And everything is going to lead to the perception by the customer, your niche customer, that they don't expect it to be the cheap service.
Yeah. I think that is 100% on target and the reality. And, when you talk about perception, it goes back to old Hecubus, what he used to say all the time about a customer's perception is our reality as a business.
Yeah.
It's not what we think, it's what do they think about us?
Right.
And where do you fit? Where do you fit within that? Do you want to be, Wayne's Lawn Service sitting here in a building in a business district cannot compete with Chuck in a truck operating out of his mom's garage with no insurance, living at home, and build a scenario from there. We don't want to compete with that. I don't want the same customer that Chuck's got.
Yeah.
Well,
you're not, yeah, like, you're not you can't compete with them and they can't compete with you because you're not. It's basketball and football at that point. It's two different things that you're doing. You might be at the end of the day working in and on someone's lawn, but it's two completely different
Yeah.
things.
And the knowledge that you have within your business, is not important to your customers until it is.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
I think too, if you want to make, this is just general advice in life, right? Or general knowledge in life. Like if you want to make more money, then you become more valuable, whether it's an employee or whether it's a business, whatever it is. Like the fact is, yes, a lot of people can cut lawns. Unfortunately, a lot of people do cut lawns, and that's why the price is so low. And that's why there's a decreased value on the service. And that's why you can only, charge 10%, have a 10% or 20% max profit
Right.
margin in doing this. So if you have a problem with that, you need to educate yourself. And I'm not talking about Charles in general. I'm talking about just the perception of
The
that.
perception.
But you need to, as the person who wants to make more money, evaluate, well, how can I do that? I need to become more valuable. I need to learn how to be a good landscaper, or hardscaper, or landscape lighting person, because those are automatically more competitive and or less, well, how do I want to say it? They're both, I guess, if you want to look at it from that perspective. But they're more valuable.
Their
Less people.
perception of more value in landscaping.
Well, there is more because less people do it.
Less, yes.
So you can charge more because there's less
Supply and demand takes
competition.
over.
Right. And that only that's why doctors make so much more money, because 1 in 1,000 people are doctors, whereas 1 in 5 people mow lawns.
Right.
So you need to figure out how to make yourself a higher or a lower percentage of the population that does a certain thing in order to make more money at it. That's why there's 300 NBA players that make over $1 million a year. Imagine how much money you'd make in lawn mowing if there was only 300 lawn mowing companies.
Right. It certainly puts a different perspective on it. Absolutely. I think you make a great point on that, Daniel. And I think that is really how we're going to finish our show up today, is perspective on the weekend, perspective on your business, perspective on free time, the whole thing. There's a whole lot of different avenues or looks that you can take within your business. Let's see. Mike's sent us something here again. Let's see. He says, case in point, neighbor of a client of his has Japanese beetles on their shrub. Neighbor asked his mow only guy what can be done to solve it. He said, call Mike.
There you go.
I mean, that's just it. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point exactly, to Mike's point, that's just it. You got to be more valuable. And, and we talk about it a lot, Daniel, and the reality of it is you can't change your competition. You can, even though you're not a direct competitor of Chuck and the truck, let's say, they're still out there doing work. I mean, they're still out there providing a good service in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
That's the sad part about it. And, they're out there. When I say sad part about it is they just don't know what they don't know. They're out there doing work. All they want to do is mow lawns, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But they're providing good service. They just don't know what they don't know about running their business. But anyways, let's call it a day. We're over on our time. And I just want to oh, that's right. Hang on. Katie's going to talk to y'all a second.
Well, you can play your commercial too.
Hello,
All right.
everyone. So I just want to hop on really quickly and let you know that on Friday, July 25th at 12 p.m., so right after Aaron, Eric, Daniel, Wayne, and Darren, I will be having a Christmas in July show. So be sure to tune in. Stay tuned in to Turfs Up Radio for sure that day. Put it in your calendar. If you're listening to the other shows, you'll get reminders. I've got a commercial that I filmed. We'll play that as we go out here, I guess, after your exit song. But I'm really excited. It'll obviously be Christmas music. We'll talk some strategy about your business for the last half of the year as well. So a lot of fun, a little bit of work.
I saw something last night said there's 177 days to Christmas.
I know there I saw the number of Fridays left or something to
Yeah.
Christmas, and it is like 30, somewhere in the 30s, which is crazy if you think about it. It's going to be on us before you know it. So lots of exciting things. Be sure to tune in.
So if you want $1,000 for Christmas, put $30 a week back. You
You're
can
gonna
still
need to
make
start doing
be
it. Yeah.
close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be
Start
close.
putting it in your little Dave Ramsey
Envelope.
envelope.
Yeah.
For your Christmas presents. But I'm really excited about it. So be sure to tune in July 25th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will have lots of fun together.
So what do you plan on doing? Like,
Well, lots of Christmas music, and then I'm also going to talk a little bit of strategy for your business in terms of social media, email marketing, differentiation of your services through the last half of the year.
nice. Well, we're all looking forward to that. As always, Katie, we know it'll be outstanding. And maybe does it just have to be Christmas in July? I mean,
It's going to be 100% Christmas music, have no doubt.
okay, all right. Because you're going to get good feedback, because everybody likes a little Christmas music.
Yeah, exactly. So tune in.
Wonder how the Christmas in July concept got started.
Probably because it's just halfway to Christmas.
You
know?
think? Yeah.
And actually, something that's really popular right now is summer ween, like Halloween, but in the summer.
Oh,
Like you'll
really
like tons of people put out like brightly colored Halloween stuff right about now. So like neon pink pumpkins instead of orange. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
wow.
Anyway.
Anyway,
join me.
well, here
the
it is. Here it is.
All I want for Christmas is a real good tan.
All right. Christmas in July is coming Friday, July 25th. Join me here on Turfs Up Radio at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a Christmas in July party. This is Katie with Turfs Up Radio. Be sure to tune in Friday, July 25th at 12 p.m. to celebrate a little Christmas in July.
There it is.
All right, join me for a little bit of Christmas in July, getting our beach tan on. We'll sip some frozen hot cocoa, maybe.
Frozen hot cocoa. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, whatever it takes to get you in the Christmas mood.
You go. Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Katie. We'll see you. And on behalf of Profit Time and Turfs Up Radio, we're going to hop off here. Appreciate you guys letting us run over a little bit today. And have a great weekend. Have some fun. Get some free time in doing what you like to do. The work will be there Monday when you get there, I promise. Trust me, 46 years, it seems to work that way. So whether you stress or not, Monday's rolling. So enjoy your weekend. Don't stress out. And remember, profit is not a dirty word. We'll see you next time.